What was the text messages?
The only reason they're gone is because we were arguing about some that don't even matter, and you know me. I'm energy only. Her energy is negative. I don't with it. So when I see it, it's out the phone. Like, I just didn't respond the way everybody think I should. Why? That clearly says we're not.
But you know, what hurt me is for you not to stand there and straighten that out. And I'm gonna tell you something. It made me feel some kind of way about you. That's the real problem.
But I didn't know it was gonna turn into all this. Oh,
well, I didn't know it was gonna turn into this, but let me tell you something. What I will say is you gotta get some straightening, because the minute anything even makes me look or feel uncomfortable, you should be standing the up and straightening that out. The whole thing just took me back to that place, to when the situation happened. It sometimes triggers me. It can make me super angry at times and shut down, or it can make me snap the out, and you know, I'm human.
Be trying to make it right as much as possible. I try to just pay the money, take care of the kid, not try to even put you in a space to be bothered with some you shouldn't even have to go through, you know? And at the end of the day, you ain't got to worry about me ever up again. I understand it's embarrassing. It was for, I get it. I embarrassed myself. I embarrassed my kids. I already said it. I have definitely not cheated with Jasmine. I am definitely not trying to cheat with Jasmine. There is none of that going on.
We have this life that we have created. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, forgiveness is real. People always talk about in marriage, what is it? Trust and this, yeah, it's trust. And this communication, it's forgiveness. Like, happens. When you've been married for going on 25 years and been in a relationship with somebody who you've lived your life with, you got things to think about before you throw everything away. You can ask any woman, from Keisha down to Michelle Obama down. Ask Beyonce.
In the darkest times, hope and strength can prevail. And
I think about like our life and oh my God, so much good times and love and fun, and to sit here and think like, wow.
Yeah.
And for this to be thrown away.
Good stuff, all the work. We do us, it works.
I know I'll get past it, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the situation with Cannon, figure out some type of an understanding.
My next steps is simple. Go to my lawyer, legitimize him, keep paying my child support, and just keep my distance. Like, that's all I can do. Can I get a hug? Can I get, cause you ain't been living with me, you've been back by yourself.
When I'm supposed to come over there, you better come get it.
I humbly apologize for my I am sorry. And I thank you for riding with me. And, you know, somehow, some way, we'll make it right.
KirkFrost had always been a man who thrived in the background, both as Rasheeda's husband and as a businessman and family man. Even if they were far from it on the inside, Kirk understood how to keep things running smoothly on the exterior. However, that was going to change soon. When Kirk first got the message, it was on a Thursday afternoon. The name Jasmine appeared across the screen as his phone buzzed. Although she had her own secrets and desires in the environment they lived in, she was a woman he loved. Since the night he thought he had been buried, more than a year had passed since he had last heard from Jasmine Washington. He had hoped she had forgotten about him, but he hadn't forgotten her. He opened the note with a sinking heart. The text was brief, but the weight of it hit him like a strike to the gut. I have the proof, Kirk, and I know everything about it. If you don't want your wife to view all the texts, pay me $7 million. Don't try anything stupid, and watch his hands shake as he reads it again. Jasmine wasn't a gamer, but she was a calculated threat, and the affair they had, which Kirk had thought was buried with his past, was suddenly her weapon. The $7 million was ridiculous and unreachable. Jasmine was erratic, fiercely intelligent, and a firebrand. You couldn't push her around then or now. Kirk was aware that she had something on him that could destroy his image, business, and wife, everything he had worked so hard to achieve. If the truth were out, Rasheeda would never forgive him. The idea of telling Rasheeda everything stopped him, but he hurriedly dialed her number. The pain on her face, the rage in her eyes, the way she gazed at him, and the possibility that she would never trust him again were all beyond his comprehension. He did nothing because he couldn't stand it. He convinced himself he had time and acted as though nothing was wrong, but plenty of time was not on his side. As the days went by, Jasmine's communications became increasingly persistent. They occasionally arrived with insulting remarks and other times with threats. Kirk could feel his control slipping away from him like sand, and she didn't only want the money, she also wanted to make him sweat. How could he make $7 million materialize out of thin air when he knew what would happen if he didn't act quickly? Although his dominion was powerful, it wasn't that strong. Would it be sufficient to sell everything he owned, including his shares and possessions, and perhaps even take out loans from untrustworthy people? When she got the money, would he even be able to stop her? He thought about the messages Jasmine might have sent and realized that she was not one to accept anything short of complete victory. Would all their texts have been saved by her? Would she have revealed Rasheeda the pictures, the confessions made late at night, and the sinister vows he had given Jasmine? Even though Kirk had always been adept at concealing secrets, he could never completely bury Rasheeda. His love was the only one who had ever stood by him. If Jasmine ruined their family, what would happen to her? Would the reality be too much for their marriage to bear? The terror continued to nudge him until it overcame him. Kirk met Jasmine in a secret location. She'd appeared much the same as when he had last seen her, composed and self-assured, her eyes glistening with the realization that she was in control of this conversation. Kirk had no choice but to do what he had to do. With a cool, even amused tone, Jasmine added, swirling a glass of wine in front of her, "That's the price. It's just business, Kirk. It's not personal." Kirk's voice was solid, but his mind was racing because he felt his anger growing and couldn't afford to show weakness. "You know the answer to that," Jasmine answered with a smile. "Both you and your spouse are aware of the cost of treachery. Which do you value more, your empire or your marriage? You ain't just forget about it, Jasmine. You don't have to do this." Kirk clenched his hands under the table and replied, "I'm not the one with the problem. Even though you had the choice to go, you decided to stay, and now you have to pay that $7 million. I'm telling you, not asking." Kirk tried to remain calm as he leaned forward, but he knew deep down that he couldn't work things out with Jasmine. There was only going to be a loss, not a win-win. When the reality of his situation dawned on him, he added softly, "I don't have that kind of money on hand, but I can make it work. I'll get you the money. Make sure everything is there when you do, because I dislike waiting." Jasmine raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued but not tricked. "Don't worry, Kirk," he muttered, not trusting himself to say anything else, as he abruptly stood up, his leg trembling fine. "After this is over, you depart forever, and I'll receive the money." Kirk felt the walls enclosing him as she whispered, "Once I have what I want, you'll never see me again. But don't think this will go away. You owe me this. You owe me everything." Everything he valued was about to be consumed by the secret he had tried so hard to conceal, and Rasheeda, the woman he loved, would never be the same after she realized the consequences of his error. Kirk felt the walls closing in on him now that Jasmine's ultimatum hung over him.